What's going on, everybody? Good late afternoon. No, it's not. It is not a good late afternoon at all. We are still in Hangover Monday. And I'll tell you, I was actually planning on making a video in this spot, in this video upload spot, that was going to be a little more positive and was going to be a little more seeking of silver linings. I was going to take a look at some of the win probability data that Seahawks Nerd collected. I think he did actually a really good job presenting a case that the Seahawks actually did some things very well on Sunday and then let it get away from them because of 3 or 4 really bad plays. And I think that's still worth exploring, but yeah, that video is not going to happen now because just a couple minutes ago we got some really, really bad news. And after what we heard yesterday, it's also kind of the worst news possible because the early indications were things were not going to be so bad here, but it looks like they are. Nick Emmanwori has a fairly serious injury, and it could be a while before we see him again. So before we get into this, please click the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, click the bell for notifications, become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to support the channel. Yeah, Mike McDonald has come out just actually like 10 minutes ago as of me recording this video, and he has said that, yeah, his initial prognosis was incorrect. Nick Emmanwori has a high ankle sprain, which is... obviously, it's not literally the worst case scenario, but it's kind of the worst case scenario based off the information we were given yesterday about where he was. So it's not good. It's definitely not good. This is an injury that is likely going to keep him out for multiple weeks. And according to McDonald, injury reserve is a consideration. Injured reserve would keep him out for, I think, a month. And then he would have the ability to come back, although there's no guarantee he would be able to. And we'll know more about that in the next couple days, because if they're going to put him on IR, they want to do it as early as possible so his window to return opens up as soon as possible. If they think he's going to miss 3 games, then they'll probably put him on IR because they're going to want to give him an extra week of recovery time anyway, and they're not going to want to rush him back for the 4th game. But if they think he might only miss like 2 games, then they might want to keep him around and just kind of deal with having a player that you're not going to be able to use for a couple weeks on the 53-man. And you want to get him back a little bit sooner then. You don't want to lose him for the whole month unless you really have to. But we'll see which way that it goes. So this is obviously a very, very big blow to a defense that played relatively well yesterday, but you saw some problems, and Nick Emmanwori could have erased some of those problems. And now you're not going to have him against the Steelers, it looks like. I'd be shocked if he played against the Saints. And then after that, who knows? But this was a guy who was a big part of your plans this year defensively. And I know they played respectably well without him, but there was a lot that Emmanwori brought to the table that you're just plainly and simply not going to get out of whoever replaces him. So, bummed out for the effect on the team, but I'm really bummed out for the player. That was a guy who looked awesome in camp. That was a guy who showed out in preseason. And after like 5 plays, was it 4 or 5 plays? He just gets the first chunk of his rookie year taken away from him. That's brutal. Before I go any further into this, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper. Have you heard about the Sleeper app? It is the best way to experience and connect over sports together with other users. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. Go download the app now. You can celebrate and chat on games in real time with others. You can get the fastest scores, news, and alerts, all that right at your fingertips. And of course, you can play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. So you can enjoy sports the way they were meant to be, together. Download the #1 sports app today. And when you go, use promo code SBN, that is SBN, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. So check out Sleeper today. don't forget promo code SBN. It is the way it goes. This is a violent sport. I'm not saying otherwise, of course, but this is rough. This is rough, and I feel for him. He was somebody who I think was going to become a fan favorite. He was somebody that I think people were really going to embrace. I know he was going to make mistakes, but he was also going to make big splash plays to make up for it. The play he got injured on, you saw the value that he provides. You saw some of the stuff that he can do. That was a very, very effective play that he got hurt on, and bad luck. Watching the play live, it didn't really look like anything too bad, but that is the nature of this sport. It's a very physical game, and yeah, don't expect to see him for at least a couple weeks here. And we'll find out about the injured reserve thing probably very soon, like I said. But no matter how you slice it, this is really bad news for one of our exciting young players. To replace him, I mean, we were looking to utilize him mostly, I think, as a slot corner. So I think what you're going to see is Devin Witherspoon is going to duck inside until he gets back. And then you're going to have Josh Jobe move to the outside full-time to replace Witherspoon. And unfortunately, that does kind of put us in a spot where Woolen needs to be out there. I know that people are very down on Woolen right now, and I am too. I don't know if Shaq Griffin or Darion Kendrick or Nehemiah Pritchett is somebody that you want to put out there to try to take his place. I think that if Emmanwori was healthy, you could make an argument for saying, hey, we're going to put Witherspoon on one side, we're going to put Jobe on the other side, we're going to put Emmanwori in the slot, and we're just going to rock with that until Woolen either pulls his head out or until you realize that Joby's just better and you decide to roll with him for the rest of the year. I could have seen that. I think now it's a lot harder to go that way because now you're really reaching, trying to find the guy who can adequately replace Woolen. But I imagine that's going to be the play. Does this mean you're also going to get to see something a little bit different with the safety situation? If we still want to go 3 safety, Emmanwori was probably your 3rd safety. Now what are you doing? Are you talking about getting D'Anthony Bell back on the team for a little bit? I never wanted really to let him go in the first place. I don't think the answer is Ty Okada. Okada looked so bad on Sunday that I just don't think he's ready to play in the NFL. So I would probably remove Okada from the equation. I guess Jarek Reed is still out there, but you clearly didn't think anything of him. You thought so little of him, you kept Okada over him. But I guess those are your options, and nothing's exciting. But this is the nature of the sport. Like the Niners got bad news today too. I know that they won the game, but they've learned now that George Kittle's going to miss multiple games as well, and Brock Purdy is apparently injured as well. He may miss the upcoming game against the Saints. So the Niners did not come away unscathed as well. It's very rare that an NFL team comes out of a actual pro regular season or pro postseason football game without some damage done to their roster. But having it happen to a 21-year-old like Emmanwori after the offseason he just had, like that stings. That stings a little bit. I cannot lie. I feel for him, and I feel for this team, and I feel for the fans that have to now watch this Nick Emmanwori-less defense for the next couple weeks. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks, and it keeps getting worse.